everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Closers Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Marco Alvarado, and joining me, as always, is Quinn, the Moondog, Kalani, Quinnathan. How are you doing today? I like that jacket, man. Is that Barcelona?
Oh yeah, Football Club Barcelona, repping today.
Very nice.
I'm doing pretty bueno.
Pretty bueno.
Pretty
That's
bueno,
good.
I guess.
I know you got some stuff for school coming up that's due later, so thank you for being able to come on. And
it's no worries. I'm a last minute kind of person.
That's interesting. Are you like a person? You like the pressure of the moment? Do you like procrastinating because that pressure mounts and you're just like, I got to get this shit done? Is that?
I don't feel any pressure either way.
Oh, ice in your veins. Okay.
I just do it.
I feel
But I like to wait till the last minutes where I'm like, well, I got nothing else to do.
Nice.
And I just do it. Shia LaBeouf style. Not entirely Shia LaBeouf style, but
yeah. Apparently there's some
not entirely Shia style. But
yeah, the news recently with him has been insane.
Right.
But
I'm more of a homicidal cannibal maniac hiding in the woods, Shia LaBeouf.
Perfect.
Not this current Shia LaBeouf.
Well, that's a great segue into our guest for this week. What did you say? A homicidal cannibal maniac?
Living in the woods. Wow, well, that makes a lot of sense because we have Gabby, the goose is on the loose, Elwell. She's on the show this week. Congratulations, Gabby. You are one of the final guests of this show. Thank you for coming on. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. I'm a little confused on this cannibal something in the woods. How does this relate?
How does it relate? Because it's Shia LaBeouf. We were talking about Shia LaBeouf.
And you live in the shadow of Mount Rainier. In the woods.
I guess so. I don't live in the woods. I very much live in a city.
I think Seattle's a city in the woods.
Isn't Seattle? Yeah, I think of Seattle as like
collection of tree houses next to a giant puddle.
Yeah, it's like that one city in fucking Lord of the Rings that the elves live in.
Lake Town.
Is it Lake Town? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's actually a very apt comparison.
Yeah,
for Seattle, Lake Town.
Lake Town. I mean, I guess. I mean, they're by the ocean, right? Or is there lakes? I imagine there's lakes there too.
There's a lot of lakes in the area. The actual coastal ocean is a few hours away. What is this lake town you speak of?
Bruh, are you using your double monitors?
Let me just do a J.R. Tolkien deep dive real quick as I pan left. Very smooth.
Okay, Lake Town, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it works. I don't
know. The way that they portrayed it within the movies of Lord of the Rings, when he was talking about, in the forest by a pond, it just reminded me of that. I don't know.
It's a dreary, wet place.
Yeah.
It is actually drizzling right now, but it doesn't rain as much as people think it does. Like, it rains and it's kind of annoying, but it's more of a light mist constantly versus in the Bay Area. Like, we definitely get rain in the Bay.
Yeah.
So it's just longer and more constant and darker.
That's how it is here currently too. It's very drab.
Little rain in the valley.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting. We don't get this type of weather very often, so I don't know. I haven't seen this type of weather in a minute, so I'm welcoming it, but I will get very tired of it very quickly. Just like I have gotten tired of school very, very quickly. And Gabby, you wanted to talk about your feelings about this school year and how shitty, to use your words, it has been.
You're a TA, right?
I am.
So you have a very unique perspective. I would caution, don't say anything that gets you in trouble.
Or maybe she wants to get in trouble. Maybe that's her last hurrah. She's like, you know what? I'm going to use this platform.
That'd be the Northern California in you.
That would be the Northern Californian in you. Yeah, for sure. I'd respect it. I wouldn't edit anything out. I would just leave.
I'd say salute.
Yeah.
No, I really enjoy my job. I actually love being a TA. I think it's awesome to be that support system for students. It is difficult at times, but I'm there to help. And that's always a good feeling. Plus the professor that I work under, she's amazing. Her resume is a good 7 pages.
Damn.
Like that's how deep in her career she is.
Jeez.
7 pages. And there's at least 2 pages worth of like awards and publications. So
wow. Is she a professor of information systems?
No. She is an accounting professor.
Oh, okay.
And actually, though, she teaches accounting information systems.
Oh, how specific. We love to see it. We love information
And you got a
systems.
7-page resume out of that?
Yeah, that's impressive. I would argue
I'd
that's
say
pretty
so.
impressive. Yeah, good for her.
She's been in the industry for over 20 years, and she's been teaching for a long, long time. So she definitely started her career in industry.
Pre-computer.
Pre-computer. Isn't that wild?
That is pretty crazy.
I was talking to my grandmother. My grandma used to be an accountant, and she told me
she had the giant spreadsheets, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, bookkeeping runs through the family, don't it?
Wow.
I didn't know she was an accountant until I was talking to her very recently.
It's destiny. Destiny. Who would have thought? That's beautiful.
Everything's full circle, ain't it? Life is full circle.
Life is a circle. Just
life
like you
isn't
said.
a circle when the earth is flat.
There you go. Well, that way. Hold on here a second.
Hold on.
But so this semester, Gabby, how's it been for you? I know it's over for you now, and I do you go by the semester system or is it like quarters?
We do not. We do go by quarters. So it was interesting going from community college to Seattle University just because at community college, it was a semester system and I loved it. I thought we were able to get to know our professors very well. If you fell behind a little bit, there was extra time to catch up. But being on the quarter system, oh my God, it's just nonstop the entire time.
It's a sprint.
Yes. Are you two on quarter or semester?
I'm on semester.
Hawaii doesn't even recognize daylight savings time, so we are on the semester.
How does that relate?
They're very
we go our own way.
Yeah. They're very traditional, I guess. That's a good way of saying it. Is daylight savings traditional, would you say? Is it or is it not?
I'd say it's traditional to the American aesthetic.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, no, I have experience in the quarter system because Sweden, I'm sorry I have to bring it up, okay? But I have experience within it because of that. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey,
what were you doing in Sweden?
Shut the fuck up. That's all I'm going to say.
Quinn, did you know that Marco did a study
I hate.
I wasn't aware, actually. He studied abroad in Sweden?
Oh my God, this fucking
I thought he just went for holiday.
No. Anyways, Gabby, what were you saying? So this semester, the quarter, whatever you go by, yeah.
Quarter with daylight savings.
With daylight. Right.
I don't know if you guys feel like this, but I was constantly burnt out. It just, as soon as you wake up, you're just like, fuck, all right, grab coffee and sit down for the next 12 hours and try to absorb as much information as you can.
Yeah, man.
And then I don't know about you two, but I work 2 jobs. So being just constantly trying to do my best in classes. And then on top of that, trying to do a great job at work, like it gets exhausting.
Yeah.
It just almost feels like there's never a break.
Yo, dude, I totally
You're working
understand.
at the wrong places. You need to shoot down on the social scale.
Maybe, yeah.
You need a less demanding job. I would suggest you work at a UPS store.
I would highly suggest for you not to do that.
Thank you.
But
not a lot of brain activity required in making copies. I'll just throw that.
I mean, hey, I don't disagree with that. That's definitely true.
It's easy to just turn off for about 6 to 8 hours at that place.
That is honestly, that's why I do love working at the spa, because I do get to take time and completely disengage with my classes and just be at the spa. And plus at the spa, it's a relaxing environment. There's nice music playing in the background. You don't get to talk to people very much. It's awesome.
What sort of music?
Spa music. Just go to Spotify and Google and Spotify.
Go to
spa
Spotify.
music.
Does it have like an Asian flair?
If you would like it to, there's some Asian flair. There's some classical flair. You can also find some nice rain sounds.
Oh, do you guys offer a lemon pepper option too?
Wait, rain sounds? Like what? So you guys are just sitting there listening to the rain?
That seems fairly redundant.
While it's raining outside?
Just open the window.
Yeah, I know, for real. What the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. What's up with all this rain? It rains in Seattle. They listen to rain in their businesses. The fucking mountain nearby is called Mount Rainier or whatever. Rainieri. I don't know.
That's Keith. That's
Raniere.
Keith.
Yeah.
I believe Mount Rainier originally was not called.
Oh, you mean to say Mount Rainier probably had an indigenous name before it was?
Who would have thought
it was named something else?
There were people here.
It was.
I wonder what that name would be. I'm glad that you have your second screen to help us look this up, Gabby. It's very, very awesome.
You're like Tony Stark.
I know, yeah. For real.
You got all the tech.
If me and Quinn ever want to rob a bank or something one day, we have a person in the chair who could help us out. Guide us through where we got to go.
Oh, yeah.
Guide us through.
Now would actually be, I've been thinking about this. If there is ever an optimal time to get back into bank robbery, now's the time.
Why?
Everyone's wearing masks. If you could just time it right to where everyone's wearing similar masks.
Yeah.
And then just, see, if you just have everyone leave the bank at once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's true.
I was thinking about that too when I was walking around the grocery store. I'm like, if you want to steal something, you easily can. But businesses are actually getting broken into so much more than house burglaries now. The spa actually got broken into very recently too.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd they target? Did they just go for the
essential
cash?
Oils?
Yeah, did they get essential oil?
They took a lot of products, and they also took our register.
Damn, they took the whole reg.
They did. They found it somehow and just grabbed it and was like, this is mine. And then we found it later in the some parking lot. We're like, oh.
Did they use dynamite to open it up?
Yeah. They
It looks
blew
like
it up.
they smashed it.
Damn. That's cool. I mean, well, not cool. Well, I don't know. I mean, look, man, times are tough, and when you have you have people that don't want to help out, the government doesn't want to help out, and so it only makes sense that crime would rise, you know what I mean? But
yeah, and it's easier to do it with businesses right now just because no one's in the office.
Yeah, exactly.
So school.
So this double monitor, Marco, please tell us about your setup right now.
Oh, you want me to talk about mine? Even though you've been hinting at yours this entire time, you want to
hinting at mine.
Want to tease us even more? Okay, that's fine. I could talk about mine. I'll tell you, my setup is not elaborate at all. I have one single monitor. I use a laptop, and I have a Canon EOS Rebel T6i that I use for my view. I don't know, like as a webcam, but it's a DSLR. Which is a type of camera that has a mirror that reflects out, and that is how the images are captured through a little mirror on the inside. It reflects and then gets captured digitally. I must have you know. And then, let's see. I have a table. I have two tables put together because my room is pretty small, so I have to, fit within the dimensions of this confined. And these are the only two tables that I could put together that would work. I can't find a table that really has these exact dimensions that would work for me. So, you got to make do with what you have. But that's really all for me. I mean, the mic, we could talk about the mic. You want to know about this?
Tell us about your setup now. Do you have a desk?
Who? Me?
Quinn.
You're done hearing about
my. You want to know about my setup? Well, I'll just plainly show you. My setup's rather rudimentary. I'm sitting on my bed, literally on my bed. There's no desk. There's no nothing. Books and movies. That's my setup.
Do you find it difficult during classes and online classes, especially when you're doing assignments that you need multiple tabs, or you're working on either Word documents and Excel sheets and different articles? How's that working?
I just drag the mouse to said tabs, and then I just click on them. Then they appear. And when they appear is when I edit said tabs. And then when I'm done looking at that tab, what I do is I drag the mouse left or right to another tab. and I just look at something else.
That sounds like a pretty good system, Quinn. Very like patented, proven, it seems. Right? I would imagine.
Fire and wheels over here.
But I mean, hey, we're not all accounting majors here. So Gabby,
No.
That brings us to you. What about your setup that I have kept hinting at this entire episode? What's going on? Has this made your quarter better?
Yeah, tell us about your trimester. How far along are you?
PSA, I'm not pregnant. Please don't spread that lie. I remember that was like a nice rumor back in high school for some reason.
What? That you were
kids are mean. I don't know. Kids are mean.
I get it. Yeah.
Well, Marco, since you asked my setup, I have a nice desk from IKEA. Has a couple drawers. I got it secondhand. I also have a nice plant that I'm looking at, a poster of the California poppy. We love that. But the main focal point,
keeping it to your roots, I like it,
is my double monitor. And as you can see, I have two different things open right there.
Yeah, that's very nice. Is it an Insignia? What is the brand? Dell. Old school.
Wow.
Also got it secondhand. I bought it off of OfferUp for like $20.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm mad at it.
I mean, a $20 monitor, you can't really beat that.
No.
That's vintage.
Yeah, that is vintage.
Dell are the bell bottoms of computers.
Mm-hmm. That's a great comparison. Very apt. I like
but
it.
It's made my life so much easier when there's a bunch of things that need to be opened all at once. It works amazing for that. So I highly recommend that everyone gets a double monitor. And I feel really bad for people that don't, because I'm sitting here with my small laptop and I'm like, I can't keep track of all these tabs.
Yeah.
I think it's important to point out, though, an add-on to your double monitors, it looks like, and I'm not entirely sure, it looks like you have a chair that allows you to rotate from a fixed position. See, I think that's something that we should advertise. You need with the double monitors.
Yeah, you need the swivel. You need the swivel chairs.
Turning your hips and your spine in a fixed position. Hey, that's no bueno. That's no good.
Yeah, that's bad. You'll have
do
to
that.
visit the spa.
You do that. Yeah, that's a one-way ticket to go see Gabby at the spa. So
that is true. That is very true. But okay, so with this setup now, Gabby, are you looking to upgrade further? Are you thinking of adding a third monitor or even a desktop?
Another keyboard?
Oh, two keyboards. So you can be typing two words at the same time.
A double-decker keyboard like a London bus?
That'd be cool. Are you going to start streaming? You should start streaming.
Start a Twitch channel.
You already have
Twitch. How?
What? You don't know what Twitch is, bro? Wow. I'm surprised.
Twitch is a streaming application.
I know it's like a website, but I don't completely understand what it is. I know people that play video games a lot like to use it.
Yes. So it's just a website that
you just invite people to watch you while you do things.
Yeah, you broadcast whatever you're doing on Twitch, and it's the hosting site for people to just like live stream.
Is there a lot of porn on there?
Oh yeah.
Is there?
You can find it.
Well, it's probably there.
You could find that anywhere, buddy.
Well, yeah. I mean,
let me tell you.
Sure, but like,
if there's a website,
there's
some back pages.
Well, I can imagine. Yeah, I mean, I imagine that, but I think it's against the terms of service for Twitch. But I mean, it's on there.
I remember when Twitch first started, it was like the Wild West, right? Like people were doing anything and everything to get a buck or two. Now, I think you're right that there are some restrictions. Yeah. I saw the.
Yeah, you can.
People.
Well, yeah. There's different models. You can have this. You can have the.
You can donate.
Yeah, there's like you can get donations, or you can have the paid thing where you're behind a paywall. You got to pay like $5 a month to be able to
like
view.
A Patreon kind of thing.
So if I stream yoga sessions, would you guys come and pay for it?
No.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't.
I'm well versed in yoga. What kind of yoga are we doing? Vinyasa?
Yeah.
Some Bharati?
No, just some vinyasa. Maybe a little Bikram in there.
Some sun salutations to start the day?
Of course.
Whoa, I'm this is going all over my head. I have no idea. I've never done yoga, dude. I'm not.
It'll do a lot for your back.
Maybe.
This is true.
Maybe I also need a chair because this couch is not really the most supportive to my, lower back region.
Your lumbars?
My lumbar. Yeah, there we go. Speaking of support, though, I I do have to say about my semester for school that the support system that my professors have offered me and my peers through these classes has been kind of inadequate, in my opinion. Because, first of all, sticking to a syllabus, everyone knows that is tentative. That's not gonna, you don't have to stick to a syllabus 100%. Most professors say that in the beginning, things may change. But when you literally just like rip up the syllabus and you're just like, okay, we're going to do this now. We're going to just pivot this way. Always got to say pivot when you're on the show, Gabby. But pivot. Yeah, it can be really annoying to just have your semester just uprooted like that. And you have to kind of reposition yourself and figure things out on the fly. So, you know, that's kind of been my experience, especially with Zoom classes, feeling like I've been on Zoom. I feel like I've been on Zoom more than I've not been ever since August. Like, I spend a lot of time.
Zooming through your quarter.
Dude, I'm a Zoomer now.
Well played.
It's true.
Yeah, that happened to me spring quarter. That's how I felt, because our finals got canceled, and that was the first quarter that we went online. Everyone was super confused, either not really knowing how to work Canvas or not really knowing how to work Zoom. So that was a confusing quarter.
Yeah.
But now with the fall, and I don't know about your guys' school, but Seattle University offered a summer course design class, and to help professors build their Canvas pages to just a better platform than what they're using beforehand.
Right.
So my university there's a ton of support there. That's which good. Is awesome. What about you, Quinn? How are you feeling?
I have zero respect for the University of Hawaii, its administration. I have more respect for its educators. I would have even more respect for the educators if the university would stop stripping of their autonomy and their agency. The problem is with university is because it's behind a paywall, much like Patreon, it strips any sort of moral standard or authority from the educators. So quite frankly, I don't give a fuck what they have to say. It's a business. I pay for a service and I expect to get that service. And I have no problem reminding teachers that it is a business and they're nothing more than retail associates, rendered as such by the university they work for. It's no fault of their own. It just is what it is.
Sure.
I mean, it's kind of like watching a rape.
Whoa, what the fuck? How? How so? Elaborate on that. Because I feel like the comparison is a lot more apt than it sounds. It's just, are you saying that...
Consider the price of post-secondary education. The hole that people dig themselves in for what should be a guaranteed right, which is, the right of information, of education.
Mm-hmm.
How many teachers do you have at the beginning of every semester tell you how much college costs now compared to when they were in school?
Almost every semester, yeah.
And you ever sit there and think, well, then why don't you say something? Why don't you say something?
It's because of the federal loans.
Yeah,
that is what raised the prices up for college.
It took away any sort of public funding that the state would offer to schools. So, I mean, it's a very complex issue. There are layers to it.
Yeah.
But
this is why we love community college. In some counties, some cities, I know San Francisco, if you're a resident of San Francisco, community college is free for you.
Yeah, it is.
My last year
a lot of culture.
College, my last year there, they paid for everything. I didn't pay a dime for, I don't know, I got some kind of waiver or something. And for high schoolers, you can go to community college for free if you're in high school. How awesome is that? What an amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. 60 credits for free, essentially.
I didn't know that you could go to community college while you were in high school. I probably would have taken advantage of that if I had known.
Yeah, it's not publicized enough. I did it when I was in high school. I took 2 classes, and it was a great experience.
CRC isn't exactly free. I think it's tops out at $400.
I had to pay about $500 a semester.
$500?
Yeah, but I took a lot of classes.
Even that, that to me is a reasonable, a reasonable price tag,
yeah,
I suppose.
Yeah.
But $11,000 a semester.
Yeah, that's about as much as it's about as much debt as I'm in currently. From
the problem, the problem is that universities aren't exactly transparent in their in their budget spending.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what money is left on the table and what money is going where.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know Nick Saban makes over $30 million a year.
Head coach of the Alabama football program.
Of the Roll Tide.
Yeah.
For that $30 million price tag, I reckon damn near every student at the University of Alabama could go for a significantly reduced rate. So, I mean, post-secondary education is a business. It's been bastardized by capitalism and corporatism, and
yeah,
it is what it is.
Isn't it though like an annoying system to be in for as long as we have though? Like I know we are at different points.
It feels complicit. I can't help but feel slightly complicit in it,
Yeah.
Because I pay that price tag and I huff and puff, but it's hard to blow that house down.
But what I'm saying is like I'm about to be 24. I've been in like college longer than I was in high school. And
yeah, you're older than me.
Yeah, what? And like I know that all of us aren't none of us here are on that like 4-year path in college where it's like I'm graduating in 4 years. Like no, we're way past that. And I think having that added time in the system has given us not only more time to kind of be flexible in terms of working while going to school, moving, doing whatever we want to do, but it also has given us more time to reflect on our experience and seeing how much of a sham a lot of it is, especially when there's people that go and get the same degree online. And these online colleges are becoming more and more reputable every year. I don't know. And seeing how, for instance, at Sac State, how the education I got at Sac State online, sure, wasn't as good as it was in person, but honestly, it was very comparable to what I got. Maybe it wasn't as good in certain respects. Maybe it was better in certain ones. But like overall, it's very comparable. And like I had to pay the same. I had to pay the same shit for not going in person, not utilizing any of the resources on campus because I was just here. It's fucking.
There's been studies where, sorry, Quinn, there's been studies about people cutting tuition costs because of this, or not necessarily because of COVID, but because they had to transfer over to an online school. So I believe that Arizona State, their online program and then also their in-person program, it's the same price.
Yeah.
And part of that is because like what Quinn was saying, it's a business. There's no long-term revenue or long-term benefits coming from cutting tuition for one year.
Right.
So when COVID happened, my university sent out an email and was just pretty much like, sorry, but we're not cutting tuition costs because you should still be receiving the same amount of education, which is what we are. They did cut on campus cost, and a lot of students obviously don't have to pay like room and board, but we're not paying for like the rec center and whatever those added costs are.
Yeah. Like the facilities.
At the University of Hawaii, it's at least in my experience, the quality of the education is significantly lesser than in-person instruction. And, I've expressed this to the university, who are you to say that the quality of the course is equal to or the same when I'm the one in it? You're not.
Yeah.
I am the adjudicator for your curriculum. Hence why I have to give a course evaluation at the end of every semester.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it is what it is. I mean, there's people should not look to corporations to have any sort of moral compass or to have any sort of moral guidance. Like you were saying, Gabby, universities are like an athlete signing a max contract, but only for a year.
Yeah, so Seattle University, if you two don't know, or if anyone doesn't know, it's a private Jesuit college, and there's only 7 across America.
Yeah.
So they do instill a lot more morals, and how they look at classes is a lot different than public universities. So there's just a lot more reflection based, and it's a lot easier to get a hold of your admin, which I find awesome.
That's
so
good.
Every professor that I've had since it's been online, they're constantly asking for feedback. They're like, so how are we doing? How can we change this? Would it make you feel better if we switch from one online Zoom class to 2? How can I make my Canvas page better? And professors adjust. Yeah. And I've been seeing that. And I think that's awesome.
It seems more collaborative.
I have had some professors that have gone against the grain in the administration that have offered like multiple Zoom sessions a week to accommodate students. I even had one professor this year sent out an email, and in her email she said, just based on observing the class, I'm canceling the final this year. It just seems like everyone's kind of exhausted.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And I find that type of empathy, because that's really what it is empathy, is becoming increasingly rare amongst the public education system.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's interesting because at the beginning of the semester, I had a class that the professor just asked us straight up, and she was like, do you want this to be a synchronous course or not? I know it says on here that it is, but I have it set up so it doesn't have to be. If you guys want it to be asynchronous and we just meet like the class right before our exams just to review, that's cool with me. And we chose to do it asynchronous.
Prefer asynchronous or synchronous?
I'm an asynchronous guy.
I was synchronous at the beginning of the semester, but as the hatred within me grew, I decided to go asynchronous.
It's just for me personally because I hate watching professors fumble through figuring out how to work Zoom, fumbling through giving lectures in ways that they're not used to virtually. Luckily, Sac State doesn't have the rule where we have to have cameras on. I know, Quinn, it's different for you. But we don't have to have cameras on. So everyone's just like in this room, like I'm like working on other homework while in the class already. And it's just like, I'd be learning more if you pre-recorded the lectures and I could go back and just like look through shit myself. What about you, Gabby?
I definitely prefer synchronous classes just because unless you're able to do an online asynchronous class well, then it's not functional. If I have to sit there and read the textbook because you don't want to do synchronous and then you also don't want to record lecture videos, then I'm learning nothing. But so this most recent quarter, I had 1 asynchronous class and then 2 synchronous classes. And actually my asynchronous class, it was quantitative methods. And I give this professor so much praise. She was very responsive to emails. If you had a question, she was always at her office hours, but how she designed her class website was done so well. Like there was always the videos, they were broken up into short 15-minute maximum videos. And then the assignments were just clear and straightforward. So unless you can do that well, I think that the synchronous is a lot better learning environment.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like the asynchronous courses, it's a lot hangs on the professor's ability to design the I'll just say it, the information system of Canvas and making it work and be streamlined to the needs of the students. And I had some professors this semester that did asynchronous classes very well. It just made it so easy. We knew exactly what was needed. There wasn't any ambiguity on like what was due when. Everything was straight up from the beginning and we just went through it. And the professors that were synchronous for me, they were the ones that were very wishy-washy about when our exams were going to be, when our assignments were due, when our group presentations were going to be, things like that. And or even the order in which we were going to present. We didn't know until, for one of my classes, until the day of. Like we had no idea what was going to happen. So I feel like synchronous classes, I don't know. I've just had not the best experiences with those. But Quinn, though, what made you become an asynchronous person after initially being like on team synchronous? I'm curious.
Well, here's the thing about me, man. If you give me an out, I'm going to take an out. So if I'm sitting here in front of a class and I don't have to screen share, well, I'm not going to pay attention to class.
Right.
I could much rather watch like a YouTube tutorial on building rafters or something than, if you give me something to distract me, I'm going to take it. Like I'm not going to focus on what you're telling me to focus on.
Right.
Which is why I'm such a freaking, I got such a hard on for in-person instruction. If I could, if they had told me like, you might get the disease, but we're going to offer you instruction in-person instruction, I would still go to class. Just because that's what benefits me the most. I guess it just speaks to a lack of discipline on my part, but.
So you know yourself very well.
Yeah. And so like asynchronous, just send me the lecture, send me what you're going to say.
Yeah.
I won't really look at it. But I'll get the gist of what you're saying, and then I'll find outside sources to corroborate it. I mean, honest to God, that's what I'm doing on my final now. I haven't gone to class in like 2 weeks.
Right.
Why? Fuck them.
Oh my God.
It is that time of year.
You send me the prompt, and I'll look at the reading material. I'll skim through it, read it like Stephen Hawking, and then I'll find some abstract website to enforce the point, and I'll list it in my bibliography.
I love it.
It.
What year is everyone?
Works for me.
I don't fucking know
list.
at this point. At this point, I have one full semester left, and then I'm gonna graduate next fall after I take like 2 little classes that I need to make up. So I guess I'm a senior now, right? That's what it makes me. I don't know.
I guess you would call me a redshirt senior. I have the prerequisite amount of credits required. I'm well over 120. But because I transferred out of state, there were several courses that I had to retake.
Have you had to retake multiple courses multiple times because you've been to so many institutions?
Yeah. So my college, my post-secondary education is 1.5 semester at the University of Western Kentucky, 2 years at Mid-Plains Community College. So I'm already 3.5 years in.
Okay.
2 to 3 years at CRC.
Casunas River out here in OL Grove, California.
So there's about 5 to 6 years of my post-secondary education. And by the time I'll be done with the University of Hawaii, it'll be 3.5 years. So I'll be at it's been about a decade-long journey for me since high school to getting my bachelor degree.
Quinn, I understand so well. Oh my gosh, because after high school, it was Sonoma State University. Went there for barely a semester.
Whoa, I didn't know you went to Sonoma.
Yeah, I graduated high school.
Shout out to the Stallions.
Is that what they're called?
No, they're the Seawolves.
Yeah, Seawolves. I was going to say, I was like, what?
I was like, Stallions? I don't know that.
What is a sea wolf?
It's a made up animal for the school.
Yeah.
The Sonoma County University, wet dogs.
Yeah.
But I barely survived that. I started out as a kinesiology major.
Whoa.
And I was just sitting in this science class and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? And then, so the semester ended in December, and come November, I packed up all my stuff and just drove home. I was like, I hate this. So I ended up, and stupid me, I was barely 18.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't drop any of my classes. I didn't tell anyone I was leaving.
You just straight left?
I just left. So my GPA was a 0.47.
Whoa.
Somehow I passed something. I got a C in something.
Wow. That's impressive in its own right, being able to not be present for anything and getting a C. That's magic right there.
Yeah, that was...
I admired the detachment.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I think too, being a first generation college student, like there was no support.
Yeah.
No one was there to be like, hey, be sure to, if you don't like it, you can drop your classes. You just got to do it in a timely manner. there was no one there saying that. So I just didn't know.
Yeah.
No, that was an option. I didn't really have anyone to turn to.
That's interesting.
But yeah, so then that barely lasted. And then going to community college and then esthetician school and then going back to community college and now finishing it off. So Quinn,
esthetician school.
There you go.
You can train horses.
Nope, that's equestrian.
Wait, so that's interesting. So yeah, you've had quite the journey then. So how much longer do you have until you're done?
You should write a book.
You should write a book.
I should not write a book. That's okay.
A memoir.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would read it.
That's not the point. The point is just writing it and having it for yourself, and then
you have it on your resume.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
You got to have it be at least 7 pages long, right?
Yeah, so. inflate that resume.
I have to have a 7-page resume. You can't be in an entry-level position.
Well, that's why you got to start writing it now. You got to start writing your book now, so because you'll write a chapter a year, and there you go.
I always found resumes are really lacking of personality. Like
that's why you have LinkedIn pages.
When someone just, I don't know what that is. When someone just that's
how Marco and I reconnected. Was on
when
LinkedIn.
I don't know what that is. Some weird dating website. I have no idea.
No. But what the fuck?
Whenever I look at a resume,
maybe some people use it for that.
All I see are the achievements in one's place of work. I don't want to hire this person.
Why not?
What are you, an android? What do you do outside of work? Do you compete in the Elk Grove Pumpkin Festival? I want to know about that. Have you placed?
That is something you can add onto your resume.
Yeah,
but not enough people inject personality into their resumes.
Okay.
You're right.
That's fair.
But the thing
that's
is,
a fair criticism.
There's a method behind it. There's an entire method behind these resumes. And it's because all of this is being done online now. There's a certain format where hiring websites like Indeed and Amazon does this, all these big companies, there's just this format that reads resumes easier.
Yeah.
So that's why people do it in that way, and they look for keywords. But this is also why we have cover letters and then also LinkedIn. I know you mentioned you don't know what LinkedIn is, but it's a professional website where you can have your resume and there's a photo of you have a banner and a background photo. You can write a little about me.
Yeah, you post your accomplishments.
Why would I have one of those? I'm not a professional at anything. If I'm a professional at anything, it's getting fired or quitting jobs.
Hey,
Marco, why do you have a LinkedIn page?
Because you got to fake it till you make it, man.
Exactly.
You got to literally.
I can't do that. I'm incapable. No facade here. I'm too busy flying with eagles.
I know. Yeah. There you go. That's the thing, man. I feel like there's multiple ways you can fly. You know what I mean? Or am I wrong? What would Double A say, Quinn? What would he say?
I think Double A would just look at you and then would do something else.
Get over yourself.
I don't know what Double A would say to that. More than one way to fly. You only get 2 wings.
Except pigeons have wings and they don't fly. They like to walk.
Really?
Neither do penguins.
When was the last time you saw a pigeon fly? Tell me.
I see pigeons fly all the time. In fact, I'll drop a little knowledge on you. Pigeons are used to deliver messages off of vast distances.
That's true. Because they fly. They don't walk. Imagine though, you attach the message to the pigeon, it just fucking waddles 500 miles to where you want it to go.
Yeah, hence
every time I see
carrier pigeons.
They're just walking around eating stuff off the ground.
They're tired of flying.
Yeah, you just see very tired pigeons around you, apparently. But yeah, penguins have wings and they do not fly. That is true. I don't know, man. With LinkedIn, it's an interesting. I don't like LinkedIn. I hate it, honestly. When I was looking for internships and stuff earlier in the year, I was like renovating it and shit, but I haven't paid much attention to it since. But it's just like, I don't know, everyone's putting on a front, it feels like, but that's like that's the agreement. I feel like the social agreement that everybody makes on that website. It's like, look, we all are inflating our own accomplishments here. We all know this, but we have to for competitive advantage purposes because we need
That's
to
the
get
social media effect.
Yeah, it really
everything's
kind of
inflated. Social media inflates every aspect of your life.
It is, but I mean, that's the thing though. It's like LinkedIn is very important nowadays in certain like I would say markets in certain
circles.
Jobs. Yeah.
Do you feel like certain enterprises put LinkedIn in a higher esteem than others?
So I don't know about you, Marco, but my classes require LinkedIn, like my business courses. Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of my business courses, like we had to build a LinkedIn as one of our assignments.
Really?
What is this world you guys live in?
I did like
the future
2 semesters ago. I had to build it for my communications class.
Yeah, it was a business comms class.
Yeah, I already had it, so I just like showed my professor, I'm like, here, and he was just like, okay.
I've never taken I've taken public speaking. That is the extent of my communications course.
That's interesting. I mean,
that is a class I haven't taken.
Really? See, public speaking was like a mandatory class I had to take back in 2012.
Wow.
Is this pre-LinkedIn?
I think LinkedIn was founded.
I honestly don't know.
I think LinkedIn was founded in like 2010.
Let's fact check with my double monitor.
There we go.
Yes, if you would please.
We love the double monitor in this household.
2002.
Whoa!
Oh wow!
What? That's
pre-Facebook.
So
it didn't blow up until this decade.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because I mean, I don't know. I honestly, it's funny. I had a LinkedIn for a long time because I just made one because I was like, whatever. I was like 15, and I never looked at it for like 6 years. And
interesting that LinkedIn survived when MySpace did not.
So Microsoft owns LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
I thought Facebook did. No. Oh, okay. But yeah, it's funny because our old boss, me and Quinn's old boss, was the only person that like followed me on LinkedIn for like 3 years because I never looked at it. He just found me somehow, and I just, yeah, it's funny. But
a friend.
Someone I know. Yeah, that's how Marco and I reconnected. For some reason, you popped up and we connected, and I was like, what's Marco up to?
So they have a suggestion page on LinkedIn?
They have suggested people you should like follow on it.
That's interesting. That's a little concerning.
Dude, it was weird because I hadn't spoken to Gabby in years. It's been so long. And then I just saw suggested Gabby. I was like, what?
It was probably my phone number because you still had my phone number.
I did. I did. I was surprised.
You gave LinkedIn your contact information.
I didn't actually. I didn't. Well, maybe it's on there. I don't know. Whatever. I'll check it later. But like, I don't think I did. I never give my contact information to like any websites.
App?
Yeah, no, I don't. I just don't feel comfortable. Like, I don't know. I'll give them my email, but not my fucking phone number.
They still have that either way because your email has your phone number.
Okay, well, you know.
Are you looking? Could you pull up his LinkedIn profile right now on the double monitor?
Oh God,
yeah,
no.
Yeah. Do you want me to share my screen?
Bruh. All right. Well, if you want to, fine. I don't care.
All right.
Hey, that's a solid picture, right of frame.
Thank you.
What are you looking at?
Nothing. Oh wait, what was I looking at? I think my friend. I don't know. Who's our mutual? Oh, Sophia.
Sophia, the most random mutual friend that we have.
We love Sophia.
We
love Sophia on this podcast.
You have a plethora of striped shirts.
I love striped shirts, bro.
From the Baby Gap.
Hey.
Woo. I was going to make a joke about a French Navyman, but that is a...
You're the one who made the Baby Gap joke, Quinn. Gabby's just repeating it on like a previous podcast.
It's a solid joke. Hey, if you can't beat it, don't try it.
This is true. So yeah, this is Marco's LinkedIn page. It looks great.
Nice. Wow, thank you.
I think so. He has an amazing About Me page. He's updated. You got to change that to a senior at Sacramento State.
I got to add Gothenburg University too. Ha.
And then we can
see because you traveled abroad, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Got you. Yeah, you should add that in.
No one
I don't
cares.
think enough people know that about you.
Gabby's is great too. Look at that. All that experience, bro. Damn.
There is a lot of experience on
It's
here.
interesting. It's interesting in the recoup spa that the C is in capitalized.
Because, like, recuperate. Recoup.
Okay, sure.
I didn't make it. I didn't. My hands are washed of this.
That's funny. Gabby, so since you did like have a pretty
San Mateo.
let's say
home of Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah. My cousin goes to the high school that he also went to.
Wow.
That's cool. I got drunk with one of Johnny Depp's cousins about 12 years ago. At least someone who claims they were Johnny Depp's cousin. But you got to understand, everyone in Southern Kentucky claims they're related to Johnny Depp one way or another.
Is he from there?
He's from Owensboro.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Well, Gabby, my question was, since you had kind of a tumultuous start to your college experience and now have definitely soared exceedingly past that start, like what's the biggest like lesson you've learned through this experience of college?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay.
Sorry. I just found that to be hilarious for some reason. Yeah. All right. Let me break it down for you right now.
I think for me, community college was such a pivoting point in my educational career. Or actually, no, I take that back. Going to esthetician school, I hated school for the longest time. Like in high school, I was like, I'm not going to college. I don't need this. Like, this is only for like rich and fancy people. And I don't fit in that category. So going to a four-year university just wasn't really in the plan.
You're wearing a necklace.
Thank you.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
But after seeing a lot of my classmates, my graduating class in high school, go to college, I'm like, oh, this is a big deal. This is important. Like I said, like I was a first generation college student. Like no one talked to me about college in the slightest bit.
Yeah. So
going to school, hating it, and just being like, I'm not coming back here like this. There's plenty of successful people that don't go to college. But then going to esthetician school, I was just inspired. I was really inspired to continue my learning, continue my education, because education's kind of the way out of any situation. The more you know and the more motivated you are, that's your way out.
Right.
It certainly offers more doors.
Yeah.
Exactly.
To find your way. It gives you more than one ladder.
Ooh.
Out of the hole that is graduating high school. I'm curious. Yeah. You didn't want to go to college. What did you want to be?
That's a great question.
What was the dream gig?
There was none. There really was none.
That's interesting.
You wanted to be a vagabond? Just a weary traveler?
Like the pigeon that you thought would walk 500 miles.
Wow.
Wow. No, there was
My life is that of a pigeon's.
One that cannot fly.
Here I am on the ground, scrounging around for breadcrumbs. Who will give me my wings, life? Who will let me fly?
I don't know why it reminded me of Andre the Giant from the fucking Would You Like a Peanut? I don't know why.
You are the brute squad.
I don't know why that reminded me of that.
Oh,
anyways,
man.
I'm sorry. So we were saying, Gabby.
Don't be sorry. No, I just I didn't think that far ahead when I was that young. 16, 17 was a little rough for me. So
right.
Thinking about college and post high school just wasn't really something I thought about in a very long-term setting of like career and whatnot. So I knew that I did have to get some type of education to be able to do something, get out of this like minimum wage of like, retail and whatnot, because that's what I did in high school.
Yeah.
But I knew to be able to get out of that, I did have to have some form of education. So that's why community college and esthetician school, I was like, okay. Like esthetician school, I had no aspirations to be an esthetician. Somebody suggested to me. I started looking into it. I was like, oh, this is 6 months. Cool. Like, I guess I'll do this. And I did it. And I loved it.
Wow.
So you weren't running towards nothing. You were running from something.
Oh.
We're going there. Yeah.
We're getting vulnerable up in here.
But you know what? I can relate because I wasn't very much academically inclined until well after high school.
Yeah.
Well after high school. But I did want to be a teacher. But it wasn't because I had any drive or goal to be a teacher, nor did I care about educating people. I just knew that I spent the entirety of my life waking up at 8 and going to work until 3, that if I became a teacher, it'd just be the same thing. So it'd be an easy transition.
Yeah, it's one of the only careers that some people are exposed to outside of what their parents do.
Right.
That is true.
Margo, what about you? What did you want to do after high school? What was your original plan and goal?
Whew, Jesus, man. Probably okay. In high school, looking back, I was very pompous and arrogant. Did you say gay?
Sorry, I couldn't help.
It's fine. But I was very arrogant, and I thought that like people would tell me, like, you know, man, once high school's over, like the world's very different afterwards, and like you got to prepare. And I was like, I'm already prepared enough. Like, I'm fine.
Oh man,
thanks.
You were ready. You were totally ready. 7 strangers living in a house, huh?
Yeah. I was like, thanks. I'm fine. I don't care. Like, I'll figure it out. Life just kind of like always just happens for me, and things will work out, you know? And so I just like had an idea when I was like 15. I was like, San Francisco is a cool city. I've never really been there. It'd be cool to live there. Say that I conquered a big city, made it work. I'll make it work.
Did you bring a flower in your hair?
No. No, I didn't. That's a good pull. I like that. But yeah, so I moved there, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was in a graphic design academy in high school, so I had experience in like creative stuff, and I was like, well, I need to know business things if I want to do anything involving like making money. I guess it'd be good to know. So I just started studying marketing, and it's nothing that I like wanted to do. It was just like my approach to it was very lackadaisical and very just arrogant, and I thought that things were just going to be more so just like handed to me, and just like things were going to be very easy.
What humbled you, young Ward?
What humbled me? Oh shit, man.
Yeah, what knocked you down?
Yeah, dude. What slapped you off that fucking perch?
Probably
you pigeon.
Probably just living in
you
San
were on the
Francisco.
complete opposite scale of where Gabby was.
Yeah, it's now looking, but we ended up in the same place, which is really like it's cool in my opinion.
You were the pigeon that was flying, judging those pigeons on the ground.
Yeah, because the thing is, school always came really easy to me in high school. Like, I never really tried. I literally never studied for a fucking test, and I got
you just nailed them.
A's and B's. Yeah, I was just chilling. I was just like,
I know
You're
folks
one
like
of those.
that.
Oh,
yeah,
I could never compete.
But now
I didn't genuinely care.
Now we're totally opposite, which is really funny. But
I didn't pass a math course till like my senior year. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't you need 3 to graduate?
It was Kentucky. It's a different state, but like the thing,
numbers aren't
aren't the strong suit.
Yeah.
But the thing that knocked me off was just having to live on my own and earn my own money, and like
in San Francisco,
one of the most expensive places in the world, and realizing that I had it really good where I was, and I really took a lot of things for granted, and I didn't know a lot of things, and I thought I knew a lot, and I really didn't, and I realized that. And I realized that I had passions that I wasn't willing to explore.
Cultivating.
Yeah, but I had passions that I wasn't willing to explore when I was in college in SF, because I had so much time wrapped up in that stuff that I wanted to pursue music. I wanted to pursue a podcast or whatever, but it just I never had the time. So when I came back here to Elk Grove, I was like, okay, I have time now, and I'm very thankful for that time because my parents are, very nice to me. They let me stay here. They don't have to, but they do, and I'm going to take full advantage of that. I'm going to do what I want to do while also going to school, also working, and busting my ass, because I know how to bust my ass because I learned that while in San Francisco. So like that's what kind of humbled me, and that's why it's taken me so long to...
The city humbled you.
The city...
Big city lights!
The city broke me, man. But I rebuilt myself into a better person, I would say.
And you rose like a phoenix.
Sure.
Not like a pigeon.
Not like a pigeon. Well, pigeons can rise, but sure. Phoenixes are more apt, I would say.
If the wind is strong enough. Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting that we all have taken different paths to get to where we are now with our college and university experiences. But like, there isn't one way to do it, as many people I can imagine have told you guys, just like I have heard that a lot. You know, like, you don't have to finish in 4 years. That's not just, you know, not everybody's as fortunate. And
I was given a lot of options. People were constantly telling me, maybe college isn't for you.
Really?
Yeah. They're like, why don't you explore this option? There's a while when I thought about going into the priesthood, but that didn't pan out.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. You were thinking about becoming a priest.
Yeah, for a while. And then for a while I was thinking, well, maybe I'll just become a merchant marine and sail the world, unloading cargo ships in Dubai or some shit like that. And then, you know, I thought about joining the Navy for a while.
Yeah.
But, no.
Nah. Yeah. That's interesting,
Do you
though.
two feel what's the word I'm looking for? I guess the age difference between students that we sit in classes with, because even though we aren't that much older than our peers, we have a lot more life experience than some of the ones that went to college right out of high school and kind of just had stuff handed to them where it's like their parents like, oh, you don't have to, you know, worry about student loans and working while you're doing this.
Yeah, I do.
I definitely
say. Do you
feel it?
Yeah.
You guys have a resentment for the younger people in class? Is that what you're saying?
Not so much a
Maybe.
resentment. I don't know.
I mean, I
like that honesty. Fuck them.
I kind of think I do, because we work in a lot of group projects at my university. So a lot of times I'm just like, ugh, another fucking 19-year-old that doesn't care. I'm like, go fuck yourself. Do you know how hard it is to like be where you are?
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah,
so yes, I do have resentment. That's what it is. It's resentment.
You have to work with a lot of people who are like me when I was 18. You have to work with a lot of those. That's interesting, because I honestly, my group project experiences have been really great. I had to team up with a bunch of people who I thought were like that, and then as I got to know them, they definitely exceeded my expectations as like group partners, and like we were able to just like bust it out. Like we all just kind of knew like, hey, none of us want to be here, but we got to make the most of this, and let's bust it out now so we can just chill. And so I don't know. It's interesting though, because I feel like we're in an interesting position, because there is also people that are vastly older than us in classes too that are also students. So like being in that middle range where we see how like aloof certain people can be that are younger than us, but we can also see how aloof some older people can be that maybe haven't had that like classroom experience in a long time, and it's a little foreign to them. And like being able to be in between that is very interesting, because I can understand that person who doesn't have that classroom experience, because like there was a time where I only took like 2 classes for a semester, and then jumping back in the next semester, there's some sort of like some etiquette things that take a minute to relearn, I guess. And then I understand being that kid that doesn't want to fucking listen or doesn't want to participate because he thinks he's too cool for that. You know, like I know that side too. So it's
I've always felt that older people in class typically go about it the right way, because they understand the monetary cost of what it means to be there. And so, you know, they understand the value of not only their time, but of the people around them. Yeah, their time as well. On average, that's the vibe I get. Now, I'm not saying it's, you know, it's for every old head out there, but that's the vibe I get. I would also say that I really hate group projects, and I strive to find classes that don't force that on me. And whenever an occasion when they're like, yeah, you got a group project, that's typically the assignment that I skip.
You skip on the group project?
Yeah.
Usually they start the group projects in the beginning. So like you just never work with your group?
No. I send them a message. I'm like, I'm not a group project kind of guy. Cheers.
Wow. So you're
Count me out.
You're that
so
guy.
What repercussions have you seen from that? Because obviously those students do have to tell the professor. No?
No, I tell the professor.
Okay.
I'm like, I ain't doing that shit.
But
I don't like it. I don't like depending on other people to carry their own weight for the sake of my grade.
That's interesting though, because
so don't count me a part of it. Make sure they get their thing, and I'll take a 0.
What about when you go into the workforce and a career and a full-time job? Because collaboration's huge, no matter where you go.
Especially on a film set, if that's like your major.
It's different. I'll make do with something that I'm passionate about, or if it's a requisite. If it's like, oh, we need you to do this group project to come up with a Venn diagram as to why the otherness of minorities, blah, 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 compared to the colonial majority. Fuck that.
Wait, so you're talking about like classes that aren't specific to your major. You're talking about just like random like
yeah. If it's an informational system course, don't expect me to raise my hand for a group project. Expect an email later that night telling you why I'm not.
Funny enough, in my IS class, we did have a group project, it was the worst group I'd been a part of.
Can you tell us about that group? Is that all right? You don't have to name names, but like...
God damn it, Dave.
No, it was just... people did their work in the group, but coordinating with everyone was so goddamn difficult.
It's terrible.
And it's like pulling teeth, because it's like, hey, let's see at this time, does that work for everyone? And people are like, no. It's like, okay, cool, but give me another option of when you can meet.
So it seems like you had to take on the role as the leader then of the group.
I was.
Damn.
Yep, that was my assignment. In most group projects, I do end up becoming like a team leader, which I never really recognized. This is super weird. Somebody gave me a review to my professor, and it was like a review of the group project. Like, how is everything doing? How is everyone going? And somebody wrote in we have a natural team leader, and it's really helped us strive, and referring to me, which, it's a really nice compliment to receive. I've never received a compliment like that.
Did you put that on your LinkedIn page?
I can.
People leave quotes about like movies, like, this really touched me. Liam Neeson was amazing. You should add that on.
Yeah, you should. LinkedIn. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I could ask the professor to write me a review on LinkedIn, and then she can post that.
That's a good idea.
Or my classmate that said that about me.
Yeah, you should just put quote, natural born leader.
Classmate.
Close quote.
Close quote.
Dash classmate.
Classmate.
Peer.
Yeah, very believable. That is interesting. I had to step up in one group too, because we were lacking. Like the professor assigned leaders, and that person, she tried to be the leader, but she just spaced on like certain deadlines, and that I saw we needed to meet. So I was like, hey guys, like, could we meet this time? Could we do this and that? And then eventually, like, I was just like sending people the Zoom links, and then we were just like getting it done. But like, so it's just interesting how in some groups I am just the guy in the back that's just like, you tell me what I got to do, I'm gonna fucking do it, and I'm just gonna shut up because you guys have this handled. And then there's other times where I'm like, all right, time to put on the boots and
big boy pants.
Yeah, be the ringleader.
Man.
Yeah,
that's wild, because almost every single one of my classes at SU has been group project based.
Really?
Quinn is just shaking his head.
No, I'd rather kill myself.
That's how it is in business classes, though. It's a lot of group projects because they want to make sure you know how to collaborate with people. You get that experience in collaborations. So, I mean, I understand it. I don't hate group. I like group projects because it's like, if we have a good group and you divide things out evenly, you only have to do a small portion, and you're just you're done. And
if you're team lead, you pick the easiest portion and divide out the hardest parts to everyone else.
Was that really leading?
Yeah, I don't abide by that. Personally, I don't, because it's just sketchy. Like, I get nervous.
You sit and delegate.
Well, I get nervous because it's like, if you can't communicate adequately in a fucking group chat, do I really want you typing up the main part of our, like, fucking report? I don't know. It's a little sketchy to me. So, like, that's just how I feel about it. But
outside the classroom, man, I shut down.
I feel it. Yeah, I didn't. You just fucking.
Yeah, no, I tell them, I'm like, I didn't pay for group work.
I didn't pay to work outside of the classroom.
Damn. Well, I'm glad you're
not. I do my homework, but
glad you're not in any of my groups, man. I would be pissed, but
I keep it real, man. I keep it real.
I mean,
it is what it is.
At least in the beginning of the semester, you like go for it, and you're just like, no. And instead of like not replying.
No, I will be 100% honest up front.
Yeah, well, at least that's something. That's good.
And I mean, typically, no one's ever like backlashed against me, at least to my face. I imagine behind closed doors, they're like, you know, that fucking asshole that we met. Yeah. I'm sure that's the case, but that doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I feel that. Well,
it is what it is.
So before we close this out, we have to touch on one piece of news.
The monoliths?
Keith. No.
Oh.
Keith.
Nixium. Keith Raniere.
Yeah.
Has been sentenced.
Yes. To how many?
We're very excited.
Do we know how many years he's getting?
Over 100, ain't it?
Is it a lot?
It is a lot. I'm on times right now on my double monitor.
The reason we are talking about Nixium is because back in August, we did a 3-part series on cults with Gabby. And
that was a while ago. That feels like forever.
That feels like a long time ago, but we have done it. And, you know, it was a great time doing that series that was suggested by Gabby. And her episode that she spearheaded was on Nixium. So that's why we're bringing it up. There was some resolution on it, so...
Yeah, so it's 120 years in prison for 7 different charges.
Wild.
Jeez. Did he kill anybody?
He did brand people. And the quote from the New York Times is the judge also ordered him to pay $1.75 million in fines.
Yeah.
Doesn't that seem redundant? Like, do you really think you're going to get that money out of someone you already put behind bars?
His accounts could be liquidated to, you know.
Yeah.
What does Keith Raniere care? He's got 120 years to sit back and chill. Take my accounts.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, just to be honest, like, if you already sentenced me to 120 years and then you're like, we're going to force you to pay a fine, I'd be like, okay.
Like,
go for it.
Well,
I'm in jail. What does it matter to me?
Well, I mean, it's his estate. And then, like, people in charge of his accounts. He's probably not the one in charge of them.
I think wait, is that money going to his victims?
I don't know who the money is going towards. But
yeah, if it goes to the victims, then you know I'm all for that. I can understand it. But if it's the state claiming damages,
the state's like, we heard about your accounts and we.
We want some of that.
Yeah, with the pandemic and everything, we've gotten a little bit blindsided.
I'm sure those court fees weren't cheap.
Yeah,
I'm sure those court fees weren't cheap. I mean,
the judge wants a raise.
I got a rolling stop ticket one time for like $70, and the court fees alone were like $55.
The fuck?
So I imagine that court fees for multiple rape, and branding, must be significantly higher,
and a lot of emotional distress. Yeah, I get it. That's where they get, dude. I took a business law class and my professor was just like, if you ever want to just add on, you have you break a leg at a fucking McDonald's and you want to tack on another charge or whatever. Or I don't know. They don't call it charge in fucking whatever small claims or I don't know what type of court. It's been a long time ago, but if you want to add on another category of harm that's been done to you, just say emotional distress, and you can get
dishonest.
You can maybe get a couple more $1,000. Probably.
That's incredibly dishonest.
Yeah, it is, but that's the fucking court system, man. And
I wonder how do you put a monetary value on emotional distress?
You can't, and that's why it's so arbitrary that if the judge and or jury, depending on the type of case it is, if the person or people who are judging the entire case comes to say that you are in the right, adding that on will just sweeten the pot for you. And that's why it's such a...
I couldn't do that. I'd feel like a liar. I'd feel like an asshole.
So you can't do a group project, but you would
No, I can't. I can't tack on emotional distress.
Very, very principled. What if you were emotionally distressed?
Then I just suck it up like a man.
Oh my God! Are you telling me? Are you kidding me?
What define emotional distress? If someone spit in my cheeseburger, right? I order a burger from McDonald's, a cheeseburger. I ate it. Yeah. At that moment, I'm emotionally distressed.
Yeah.
But let's be 100% honest with you. Is that gonna ruin my goddamn week? No.
Okay, that's not the definition of the definition of emotional distress is if you were just...
It seems like you really can't put a definition on emotional distress.
Yeah, I mean, it's just if you are distressed in an emotional way.
Okay, define that.
I just did. What do you mean?
No, define distress.
Emotion and distress.
Legal definition of emotional distress: a highly unpleasant emotional reaction which results from another conduct and for which damages must be sought.
Yeah, for instance, okay, let me give you a hypothetical.
The series finale of Game of Thrones costed me a gazillion amount of emotional distress.
Okay.
That doesn't mean I'm going to go seek a monetary value for it.
No. It's only if there is already distress, like if there's physical distress in any form, whether on your property, onto your body, already that you're suing for, you can prove that distress. You can throw on emotional on top to get some more, money on top of it. Because if you break your leg because some fucking, I don't know, some business mopped the floor and they used fucking oil instead of fucking water or something, for just hypothetically, the pain that you felt probably fucked you up emotionally too. To a degree, you can't walk, you're in a bed for a while.
I've broken bones, man. It's not the worst thing. They heal.
Okay, but you have to, okay, see, this is why you can never be a fucking lawyer, man.
We
gotta
talking
think
about empathy earlier.
Yeah, you're right. We were.
Yeah, there's a degree of empathy, but there's also a degree of get over it, as Double A would say.
Oh,
get over it.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
So then, do you support? So you say that the $1.75 million in fines that Raniere has to pay. So you're saying that if that is going to the cult victims, that is okay. So on their end, why are they getting that? It's because of emotional distress.
Yes, but this is legit emotional distress. This isn't I slipped at McDonald's and slipped a disc. This is I was raped repeatedly and forced and coerced to do things that were against my own will, with lasting post-traumatic stress. Like
okay, so you're not an asshole. Good to know. I'm glad there's some degree. There's a distinct difference in legitimate emotional distress.
I'm just saying,
which really just should be called PTSD, because that's what it really sounds like.
Sure.
Versus heightened emotions in the moment.
All I'm saying is, as a lawyer, if you were to be a lawyer, thinking as a lawyer, you want to get as much money as you fucking can. That's the whole point, kind of, for your client, of course, but also for yourself. So all I'm saying is that's a tactic used. And you can agree, disagree. I'm a straight shooter. But yeah.
I'm a very Aaron Burr.
Aaron Burr?
Aaron Burr Hamilton way about justice. That's how I look at it.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, it's good that we have some resolution on that Nixium stuff. May he rot for 120 years. What if he survives? What if he becomes like the most...
He's 60. No.
What if he becomes...
He would be 180. No, that's not a thing.
That would be impressive. If he lived to be 180, I would say release him. Let him go.
You deserve to get back out there.
I
mean, for Christ's sake,
I've just been watching or playing Cyberpunk recently, and like there's people in there that are like over like 150 years old. So it's been on my mind, like surpassing the ages that we currently can as humans. Just wondering.
Do you think you'll surpass that age?
No.
What age do you think you're going to expire, Marco?
Probably 84, I'd say.
80? What about you, Gabby? You're a vegan now, so let's think about this honestly. If I had a ballpark, I say you got a 10-year baseline up on the rest of us.
So 90?
I'm not a vegan. For the record, I just don't eat a whole lot of dairy.
Are you lactose intolerant? I'm lactose intolerant. That's why I ask.
This is true. But most white people are. So
that's interesting.
And
most Hawaiians are.
That's interesting.
If I were to put an expiration date on myself, I would have to go late 70s, early 80s.
Wow. What do you think it's going to be?
Probably a goddamn fucking heart attack from stress.
Whoa.
Just based off of my actions now and how stressed out I get now, I don't really see that calming down. I think it's just inherent in me. So, yeah. Or I'll just be sick of it. Maybe I might break my fucking legs at a goddamn McDonald's. I'm just gonna be lying there in the hospital bed, not recovering, and be like, fuck it.
Someone, please tend to my emotional distress.
My emotional distress, please just kill me.
Yeah.
Marco, how do you think, what's going to be what's going to be the hand that punches your clock?
Probably.
And will it be my hand?
Probably won't be your hand. It probably will be like, I feel like it'll be sudden. I feel like it'll be random. I don't think it's going to be anything that's like ceremonial.
Like get hit by a train.
I don't think it's going to be ceremonial. I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be something where like I'm walking somewhere and
grand piano falls on you.
Either that or fucking like I'm just at the wrong place at the wrong time and I get like shot by somebody who like is trying to
around South Oakland again.
Sure, yeah. Something like that. I don't know. I just feel like I'll be at the wrong place, wrong time, and everyone will just like, "What happened?" You know. That'll be it. My story will have very.
You think they'll put that on your headstone? Wrong place, wrong time.
Probably. I have to write that in my will. I should do that. What about you, Quinn? Since you're asking the questions,
I reckon it will go one of two ways. It will be an incredibly gory mess, very sudden, or it will be the slow creep of dementia, just rotting away my brain.
That's what I don't want to happen because all of my grandparents have had that happen to them. So it runs in the family, and that is the worst. I'd rather die quickly and suddenly.
What is the one thing you don't want to happen?
That
either as you're dying,
I'm dying. I don't fucking know.
Or getting shot,
or as dead.
Put this together.
Wow, you don't want to get shot.
No, my dreams lately, I've been having really freaky dreams lately, and they're all surrounded by getting shot.
Ooh.
So,
getting shot where?
Like in your face?
Like in public? Or like, like someone breaking into my house and like shooting me in my private home? Or like, what do you mean?
No, at the Recoup Spa. I told you to use peppermint oil.
Could you imagine? Bro, that's fucking... I don't know why that's so funny, but that's fucking... Dude, yeah.
I'm sick and tired of this ambient rain. No, like...
It's raining outside. Why are you having it rain inside, too? What the fuck?
No, I mean like shot in the face, like point blank with like a shotgun. Or like shot in the back of the head, assassin style. Or maybe shot in the stomach and then your blood and guts and dookie and everything just starts spilling out of you.
Well, like how, like in your dreams, how is it happening? That's, I guess, the question.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Are you like alive, dying on the ground like Uncle Ben and Spider-Man or?
No, I try to wake up before that happens. No, in the dreams it's been...
So you've died in your dreams?
No. I wake up before I die.
I die in my dreams all the time.
Oh.
So I can put to spell that myth. If you die in your dreams, you die for real. No, that's fake. I've died 1,000 times.
So what happens in your dream, Gabby?
It's usually me noticing something or someone that is ill-willed, and all of a sudden I'm running from them. And then I'm like hiding somewhere, and then they just creep up and go bam.
Just like, but you don't know where you got shot. Like it wasn't in the chest. You're just like, it just shot and you just wake up and you're just like...
You just see the flash of light and then you're awake.
That's interesting.
It reminds me of the episode of SpongeBob, where SpongeBob is being trapped by a man who's, screaming, chocolate!
Oh, yeah, the chocolate.
And SpongeBob is completely scared out of his mind, and he's hiding. And then the guy finds him, and he's like, you forgot your change. That's what your dreams remind me of.
That's an interesting comparison for sure. I don't know. Dreams are weird. I've had some dreams where I got shot.
So you wouldn't want to get shot, Gabby. Marco, you wouldn't want to get dementia. So you just don't want to lose your mind. You want to have your faculties to the end.
Yeah. But that's the thing is I don't have a say in that. So I'd rather...
That's true.
I'd rather pass away before I live to kind of find out that I was slipping away. So, yeah. Or if I started feeling like I was slipping away or realizing that I'm like, oh, I walked out of the house without fucking pants on. Like, if
then you'll
things,
be like, it's my time to go.
Yeah, it's like I need to find a way to just kind of figure out, how to go.
There's been extensive research into the effects of cannabis on both dementia and what's the other one? Starts with an A. Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's.
As a deterrent.
That's interesting.
So
with blueberry juice.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Blueberry. That's interesting.
I've heard that too.
Some of blueberry juice.
For myself, I just don't want to die in a bed.
Oh,
yeah, you talked about this.
An adventure.
I don't know, maybe not for an adventure. I just don't want to die looking up at the freaking pastel popcorn ceiling. Like, that's the last thing I want to see. My ceiling?
I mean, we talked about this, and then we were like, okay, well, like, place me on the cliff at Yosemite and fucking...
Not even Yosemite, just like, if you can't place me somewhere nice, for Christ's sakes.
It's just funny, though,
just
like a vulture just comes down and starts fucking pecking your eye out as you're, like, laying there. Like, you're fucking...
Honest to God. I mean, if that was happening, I think I would just roll off whatever cliff I was on. But
it'd be funny if you couldn't, though. Like, your family puts you in between two rocks so you can't fall.
Strap me to a lawn chair?
Yeah, and you're just... What a shitty way to go out. Like in your will, you're like, the one thing I don't want to look at is my ceiling while I'm dying. So your family thinks they're doing you a service by just putting you in this area that is beautiful.
And I'm not entirely sure, I'm not entirely sure that I want to, die around a mass of people. You ever been in a hospice?
Yeah.
And a person is passing away and everyone just gathers around them and they're just kind of
just like, what?
Like, just like counting the time.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on the end of that.
That is weird.
Maybe just me and two of my closest peoples, whoever that is.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would much rather die at Laguna Creek Park than in my bed looking at the ceiling.
You have cousin Larry fucking looking at his watch like, me and Regina have dinner reservations at 7:30. Like, can he just hurry up and just fucking die already? Like,
is the roast in already? Aren't we gonna eat after this?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't want to be involved in that. I would rather go on my own terms as far as setting more than anything.
Yeah.
And then around people that I would choose, and it would be a very small select group of people, unless I was going to die awkwardly and violently, and then in which case it would be a large group of people. Yeah, I would want them to witness the sheer horror on my face as I was being disemboweled or something.
And that's interesting.
So on that note, this is a good pivoting point.
Speaking of having to go,
I am sad that the Closers podcast is closing.
Yeah, so we want to give you some time to just say whatever you want to say.
Feel free to use your rendition of Closing Time by Semisonic now.
Okay, so you did bring this up in the very, very, very beginning, Marco, and you said, hey, the last, couple minutes is all yours. It's your floor. I wanted to tell you this now so that you don't have it come to a surprise when we get here. And here we are.
Yeah, I know.
We hit a lot of topics that I'm very passionate about, like education and loving community college and talking about that. We touched on Keith Raniere, which is something we talked about to touch on. And so I'm kind of out of topics.
Well, what do you want to say to the audience that has liked the times that you've come on, the people that you probably will never meet that have reached out and said that they liked it when you've been on and things of that nature. Like,
I do find that incredibly endearing when you shoot me a message and you're like, hey, I got this response back from whoever and they thought you were great. That touches my heart so much because I sit here a little nervous and watching if I say too much or whatever. And then I'll listen to the podcast and I'm like, God damn it, you could have said this better. You could have done it this way.
Yeah.
So to still hear that somebody's like, that's awesome. It touches the heart.
Of course.
So, and this is something I've been, I listen to podcasts very, very, very regularly. So it was always something like, oh, that would be cool to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And here we are. So thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. It was really awesome to randomly be able to reconnect with you over LinkedIn of all places. It's funny how that website got brought up too. But yeah, after years of not talking to each other ever, it's cool that through this year, like I've told you before, like in our private conversations, like through this year that a lot of people have felt loss in one way or the other. It's cool to be able to regain something. And that's pretty nice and powerful. And to be able to also bring you along for the ride of this podcast to in a certain way, that's really cool. And that cult series that we did was really awesome. And I'm going to look back on hosting one episode and hearing you guys talk about your guys' topics. I'm going to look back on those memories fondly. So thank you, Gabby, for being part of it.
In a year of things lost, a friendship was found.
Yeah. I know, right? The tagline.
I was going to say, I was like, that should be the title of this, or the tagline.
What do you know? It's like I'm going to school for this sort of thing.
That's true. Well, Gabby, thank you again. And if anything ever changes on either of our ends, I can imagine like we will talk again in a public forum, maybe. But thank you again for being a part of the second season, and it was a true pleasure. Quinn, do you want to say anything?
Thank you. And then Quinn, it was awesome to meet you. You are very blunt on messages, on Instagram messages, and I'm like, I don't know if this guy's going to be nice or not. I can't tell. He doesn't respond much in the group chat, but you're a pleasure. You're funny.
Thank you. I get that a lot as far as my online communications. But I'll say that it was a pleasure meeting you, and it was super cool. I was very nervous when we first did our series, as Marco can attest to, and it's cool to the whole podcast has been cool because I met a lot of different people, and I made a couple friends. So thanks, and don't be a stranger if the situation ever calls for it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
If you two are ever in Seattle, I got a brand new couch. Well, it's not a brand new couch. I bought it secondhand, like everything else in this apartment, but it's a couch and it's nice.
There we go. Now we can steal
offering my home.
Awesome.
No,
thank you. I'm just kidding. Yeah, steal your couch.
If you really want to, you can sleep on the balcony too.
Oof. Yeah, with the pigeons. Thank you. No, I'm fine. But Gabby, it's been a pleasure, and we'll definitely talk soon. So thank you.
Thank you too.
Big thank you to Gabby for coming on the show, talking to me and Quinn for close to 2 hours. We weren't expecting to go that long, but here we are. We did it. For you guys, the people out there who have stuck with us through thick and thin and everything. Next week is our, what do they say, penultimate episode, second to last episode. And we got none other than Officer Ryan Crossett and Father of the Year Kevin Pierce. They're going to come back on for one last, kickback sesh. Just like before, we're going to share some stories, talk about the past, the present, the future. Gonna chalk it all up. And then after next week, it'll be the last episodes of Hang 10 this podcast, the Closers Podcast, and closing out the week. So, without any further ado, I'll bid you an adieu. Talk to you on Friday.